Hi, I'm Jade and I work for KA Parts. In this video we're going to show you how to replace your power cord on your 230 volt Tilt Head KitchenAid stand mixer. Different procedure between the US and the Canadian models, as these do not need to be fully opened to get to the connectors.
Please make sure your mixer is unplugged. The tools you are going to need are 2 flathead screwdrivers, a PH2 screwdriver, a hammer, a mallet, 2 drift punches sizes 3 and 6, needle nose pliers and a cradle. We will be using our replacement cord, which has been designed to help prevent damage if the cord is pulled. If you are replacing your cord because it is damaged, our new design may be able to help prevent it happening again. Start by removing the end cover. To do this, you'll need a screwdriver to undo the screw at the top of the end cover. Then lift the end cover off. Next, remove the trim band. To do this, you'll need to remove the 2 screws at the back of the mixer. Keep the screws together safely so that you don't lose them, as you'll need them later when you put the trim band back on. Now remove the trim band by lifting it off the mixer carefully. Next, remove the drip ring. To do this, you need a screwdriver. Put the screwdriver into the gap and gently tap the drip ring off. Depending upon how old your mixer is, this might be difficult due to food stuck underneath it. Next, you need to turn your mixer upside down and place it on a cradle. The mixer is very heavy, so be careful whilst you do this. Look into the base and you'll see a hinge pin set screw. Using a flathead screwdriver, loosen the grub screw by placing the screwdriver into the slot and turning it a few times. Now use a drift punch and a hammer to remove the hinge pin. The hinge pin allows the tilt head mixer to move back easily. You'll place the drift punch on the hinge pin and carefully knock it out using the hammer. You may need someone to help you do this, as you do not want your mixer to fall over or get damaged. Sometimes the hinge pin can be quite stiff. Keep tapping until the hinge pin comes all the way out. Once your hinge pin is removed, you can then remove the pedestal base and place it to one side. Now the head is separated, knock out the pin holding the planetary to the shaft. You'll need a drift punch and a hammer. You may need someone to hold the mixer steady whilst you knock it out. This can be tricky on some mixers if the pin has been misshapen over time. Now remove the planetary. You need 2 flathead screwdrivers. You need to put them into the gaps either side of the planetary and just prise it up until it comes off. Be careful, as this can be very greasy. The planetary should just pull off. You may need to wiggle it a bit as you pull. Turn your mixer around to partly remove the power cord. To do this, you need to partly push it out. Next, remove the 5 special screws using a flathead screwdriver. And then you'll need to remove the 4 remaining screws attached to the lower gear case. You'll use a flathead screwdriver or a square head screwdriver if your mix is fitted with square head screws. The lower gear housing may simply lift off. If not, use 2 levers. You'll place them into the slots either side of the gear case housing and prise them up until they come apart. Be careful, as the 2 units will have lots of grease inside them. If your mixer is a US version, therefore there are no wires attaching the lower and upper housing together. With the European version, you need to open the mixer like a book and rest the lower housing next to the upper housing due to the wires connecting them together. Now you'll see where the power cord is attached to. You'll need to unscrew the earth screw. Now unclip using needle nose pliers the blue and brown wires. You have now successfully removed your power cord. Now to prepare your new power cord, gently twist the blue and brown wires together. This will help them to stay close to the bottom of the case and prevent them from getting caught by the mechanism. Now take your new power cord and place this into the slot on the mixer. And then you'll need to screw your earth screw back in. Now you can reattach the blue and brown wire to the lower gear case. Ensure that the connectors are placed so wires exit towards the case. This is very important. If you do not, the wires will rub on the speed lever, which is very dangerous. Now you need to put the gear case back onto the housing. This should just place on and fall into it. But if it doesn't, just jiggle the shaft until it's found where it's meant to sit properly. Be extra careful that no wires get trapped. Now you need to insert the 5 special screws and the 4 mounting screws, tightening them with a screwdriver. Ensure you have used the small washer on the rear screw as shown. Now all the screws are in, you're going to put the planetary back on. To do this, you need to line up the hole first, as this will make it easier to slide it on. Then you'll get a drift punch and put it through the hole of the planetary to make sure it is lined up with the shaft. Then take the grooved pin and knock it back in using the drift punch and the hammer. The pin goes all the way through so that it is flush. Now put the drip rim back on. Place it in position and using a rubber mallet, just tap down on it to make sure it goes properly into place so that there are no gaps. Next we reattach the pedestal. Place the pedestal back on the head and insert the pin through the hole. You may need to use a mallet to knock the pin in position. Sometimes it can be fiddly to line it up properly. Lifting the pedestal a little will often help. Keep tapping the pin until it is flush and even on both sides. Next, tighten the grub screw. Just place the screwdriver into the slot and turn until tight. We are now going to turn the mixer back upright to finish the last bits. Now replace the trim band. Just take the trim band, pop it back over and screw it back in. Then put the end cover on, making sure no wires are stuck or caught. And then take the screw and screw it back into top. Now plug in your appliance and switch the power on to make sure we have correctly replaced the power cord.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries following this video or you've seen any parts you'd like to order, please visit our website www.kaparts.co.uk.